Exploring both sides of the controversial topic on whether college athletes should or should not be paid is necessary to form an opinion. I personally have witnessed the tremendous sacrifice both of my older brothers have made to successfully play college football. College athletes are our peers. We sit next to them in the classroom, we spend time with them on the weekends. The controversy stems from this idea that they are already paid through scholarships and stipends. The debate on whether college athletes should be paid is controversial as there is both pros and cons. The huge time commitment versus the high profits of college athletics weigh against each other in this debate. Let's first examine some of the reasons why college athletes do in fact deserve to be paid. The time commitment is similar to that of a full-time job. From morning workouts to practices to mandatory meetings and meals, their sport fills up most of their days. This tremendous time commitment that continues year-round prohibits them from being able to have part-time jobs. Although some players receive scholarships and stipends, not all do. Author Michael Mondello explains that a recent report suggested that, when combined, football and basketball are huge commercial enterprises, generating more than $6 billion in revenue annually, with student athletes receiving almost no compensation for their player work. By providing college athletes with a paycheck, this would allow them to focus more on their sport rather than worrying about money. The NCAA and universities profit heavily off of the hard work of these young athletes. Amounts of money that are not even comparable to the cost that they spend on them. Author Raymond Schneider explains that since 1988, the NCAA has received in excess of $150 million per year from CBS for rights to broadcast the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Money goes into paying for athletes' scholarships and stipends, but that does not even compare to the millions and millions of dollars that top sports teams can bring in. Now let's examine some of the reasons why college athletes should not be paid. It seems as though sometimes people forget that these amazing athletes they watch on the field or the court are just regular teenage kids. First and foremost, college athletic departments can simply not afford to pay their athletes. ESPN co-host Michael Wilborn explains that paying players out of individual athletic department budgets is beyond impractical. It's probably not feasible. Because so many athletic departments run at a deficit, it's difficult to make the case that schools should pay regular salaries to athletes, even football players who produce more than anybody else. Even if college departments did come together and thought it was only fair to pay their athletes, they simply could not afford to. While some teams bring in large profits, others bring in pretty small profits or even no profit at all. Furthermore, it would also cause a great debate on who should get paid and who shouldn't. Michigan State's men's football and basketball teams recently struck a deal with a local business. The players were expected to promote a brand on social media in exchange for money. However, author Kelly Root explains that this would not include female athletics in the first round of funding. The reality is, not everything can be fair. It does not really make sense for a football player to get a salary while a softball player who puts in just as much time and effort to her sport would not get a salary. One could argue that time, commitment, and profitability of college sports would inhibit college athletes to get paid, while someone else could argue that there's no way to do this fairly and college athletic departments can simply not afford to. The debate on whether college athletes should be paid will continue to be controversial. Whether you personally think college athletes deserve to be paid or not, the matter is too complex to work out anytime in the near future. Thank you.